Klaviyo Chief Executive Andrew Bielecki joins me now. Andrew, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So let's start with your recent announcement, the launch of your new AI assistant. Can you tell us first more about what your company does and that new launch?
Sure. At Klaviyo, we are the CRM, so the way that consumer businesses interact with their customers, maintain relationships for over 175,000 businesses. You have everything from startups all the way to iconic brands like Away, Mattel. And what we launched last week was 2 new agents. One to help with marketing, so helping you design marketing campaigns and creative. And the other is what we call our customer agent, that actually is like a way for any consumer to ask questions to that brand, both for help with customer service, but also to do things like product recommendations, discover new products, get tips. We think the future of customer relationships is going to be agentic and be powered by AI, and last week was our first launch in that direction.
And how do you think these tools will impact the way that brands engage with customers?
Yeah, well, you're seeing a lot of developments here very quickly. So I think in the future, every brand will offer up kind of its own personal assistant, concierge to consumers that can act as that guide, both for figuring out whether those products are right for that consumer, which products to buy, what products to buy next, help with any issues. I think that's going to be available, on a website, maybe connected to other things like ChatGPT or Google's products or other LLMs. And I think it's going to be multimodal. I think we're going to see people texting with it. There's going to be audio. I think in the future there'll be video. So I think really this idea of interacting with an AI that is the expert at that company, at its products and services, that's going to become the norm. And we see this in the stats. A lot of consumers are already consulting AIs to do product research. And then when they get to an actual store or to somebody's website or open up their mobile app, they expect these kind of always-on agents that they can converse with, just the same way that we do with the agents we use on our phones or in our earbuds. And they want those to be designed by the brands they know and love.
All right, and as these AI assistants become more common, how do you think they're influencing online shopping and holiday buying behavior?
Yeah, well, we know, look, consumers are, their belts are a little tight right now. They're being a little more judicious. What we've seen consistently in our data set is when consumers are being more discerning, they want to make sure they're making the right purchase, so they do 2 things. One, they go back to brands they already know. We see that a lot during the holiday season. The majority of shoppers are going back to businesses they already know versus discovering new brands. And the second is they want to feel really confident in the purchase they're making, whether for themselves, for a family member or for a friend. And this is where I think AI plays a huge role. Like if you have some questions, maybe some lingering doubts, rather than having to call a 1-800 number or search through documentation to figure out whether that product's the right product for you, you can actually just get an answer in seconds now. And I think we're seeing that drive higher conversion rates. It's also helping with things like people showing up to websites and asking, hey, I don't even know what to buy. What would you recommend, say, for a family member or maybe for a kid, for a certain age range? And having AI provide those recommendations proactively versus having to browse is leading to a better customer experience and therefore more sales.
All right, and what is the reliability of these agents?
It's a great question. One thing that we think a lot about is both brand safety, making sure information is accurate and it's on brand. And so we've baked in over 100 checks into our agent so that before that it, say, recommends a marketing campaign or it provides an answer back to a customer, we've actually already, sort of double, triple, many times over checked that information. I think what you're finding is the models are getting better at maintaining, coherence and, not hallucinating, as we say in AI. But also with Klaviyo, because we have more context on the consumer and, on the brand, like information about their products, their inventory, but also on the exact consumer that's buying, I think that's making the results a lot more relevant. And, consumers, for a lot of us, if you get an answer and it doesn't feel quite right, we lose trust. But when it matches our expectations, or maybe, that's interesting, I didn't know about that, and that feels like it's right for me, that builds confidence and trust. And so we actually think of AI agents as a way to build more trust, more credibility, more connection with consumers. And that's really what brands are doing by offering this. That's why I think they're become ubiquitous. They're not going to be hidden like a 1-800 number where it's actually kind of expensive to run that. Instead, we're going to see agents out front, out center, and I think we'll see a lot of consumers actually prefer to interact with an agent versus even browse a website.
All right. Thank you, Klaviyo Chief Executive Andrew Bielecki, for joining us.
Thanks.